Wagwan Collective, this is Rasta Gal, aka Angelic Empress. Welcome you to my channel. I've been so busy, collective, but I appreciate everyone that's tapping into my message and just still hanging in there with me, enjoying the ride on this love soul train, whatever train you want to call your journey. In the background, you're going to be hearing noises. I'm doing something different. I'm going to be moving, shaking and grooving and cooking in between and delivering this message. So yeah, let's go into my dreams and downloads. I hope everyone's enjoying their week. If you are off, enjoy your day off. Enjoy the weather. Yeah, let's go ahead and just get this week finished off, so we can relax for the freaking weekend. I hope you, again, are doing well. So my downloads that I had, I'm trying to see how I can go about that. You see the title there and the picture. So let's get into the downloads. My gosh, I had this download for 2 weeks, so I've been sitting on it at the same time, just again being busy. And I was looking and researching some things, just looking at information. Knowledge is power. And collective, I dreamed that I saw like a female entity. Working on my peppers. I saw a female entity attacking another female entity. Okay. And the woman in a dream was like, no, I won't, stop, right? And this female entity was like very vicious. I felt the energy, like she didn't care. She was going after this female that just wouldn't let go, or just lev up. I don't know if I'm saying the words right. She just wouldn't let go of something. I felt both their energies. She didn't want the entity to get a hold of the male entity or energy, the male, physical male being in a dream. So she was at the female's face, literally wrapping her up. She was like holding her as hostage. Okay, and she was just crying and just pleading for mercy. But that entity was wrapping her face up and just pretty much tossing her, pushing her to the side to get to the male. When I saw it in my vision, the energy I felt from the entity, it was like she didn't care. It felt like it just felt like a strong presence, like a Jezebel. It felt like this Jezebel was going to do whatever she needed to do to get to that male, and whatever she needed to dispose of or just hold hostage or bind or trap, she was doing it. And in the physical, again, in my dream, this female entity, this Jezebel entity, or succubus entity, was covering the female's face and just wrapping her up. At the same time, the female was fighting to be released and let go and to be able to speak. So the mouth was being covered to speak, say anything. Maybe that female in a dream was casting illusions, manipulation spells, confusion spells, maybe sex magic, love binding spells. Maybe she was using this Jezebel entity. Possibly that female could have been a Jezebel entity herself. That entity was in her, using her as a vessel, and she couldn't contain and control it anymore, so it came out and started to reap revenge. So a female energy is receiving karma. Okay, she's probably a weak kitchen witch, or she does voodoo, or she's claiming to be a witch or a priestess, but they are false. Okay, especially when you don't feed the entity or you don't give the entity what they want. they can take over the host of the person that's worshiping it. Okay, so that's what I saw. Then, as the female was being wrapped up and disposed of, being just binded, I saw the female entity stand by the bed, and the face was just wicked. The Jezebel succubus energy was wicked. Okay. And she stood by the bed looking at the male figure. The male figure was sleeping. Okay. And as in succubus energies, they come at you in your dreams. They come at you when you're asleep. They come at you when you're weak. They come at you, especially male figures, to harvest their energy and possibly have them, have an ejaculation, or they masturbate in their dream, so they can use that energy and that seed to create more incubus and succubus, demonic, demon seeds, children in the spiritual realms. If you didn't know about that, that's why the incubus and succubus wants to always go after, your chakras, especially the lower ones. But whoever, this can pertain to or can relate to, whoever's doing this, that are guilty, they are facing karma. Because at this time, collective, I don't know, maybe they're not able to get to the person that they were sending the entity to. They're not getting what they want. That entity's not getting what they want, or they can't get a hold of that person anymore. Okay, they can't attach to the innocent people anymore, whoever's doing that and whoever's sending it. So the entities is going back to the host, is going back to the people that are worshiping. Okay, now the male figure that was sleeping, I don't know if he knew that the person, this was like two separate dreams, but in a way it was like they were in the same house. I don't know if he knows this person is a witch, a kitchen witch, and a dark kitchen witch at that, or just what she does behind closed doors, behind the scenes. I don't know if that male knows. Maybe they do. Maybe this is a couple that does dark things, does dark magic. They do that as a business. They do that as their scheme. I could be talking to a Bonnie and Clyde type of couples. But yeah, he was laying down, and all of a sudden, like I said, the wicked energy, the succubus, was standing right by the bed looking down. And then it appeared as a woman, of course, a seductress woman. So again, the female that was consuming or was embodying this succubus energy, a witch, a warlock. These, I could be talking about witch and warlock couples. They were both embodying the succubus and incubus energy and entity. That energy was feeding on them to go out there and do wicked things. But I saw in my dream, after it was standing by the bed, I saw them while the guy was in a dream state. The male figure was laying down on his back and he was in a dream state. The female was crawling on the bed. You know how females crawl on the bed to seduce, their partner, the male or female, but it was a male in my dream. And they was crawling on the bed to seduce the male in his dream state. Okay. And they were very seductress. So again, this couple that I was picking up maybe 2 weeks ago, the energy is still lingering. The female again was pretty much embodying this energy. She could have been in her past or in her present. She could have been a stripper. Okay, this male could have met a stripper. Because I got two songs too that stuck with me for a while. I got David Bonner, Like a Pimp. That kept playing in my head 2-3 weeks ago. If you a pimp, get down on the floor. That song. So I have that down below. Again, this could have been a male couple, a female couple, or a male and female, but the male was trying to be a pimp, maybe was a pimp, still is a pimp. He's known for that title or have that character of a pimp. Someone's name could start for D or B. I also was feeling, I was hearing Nicki Minaj. Someone's name could start for N or M. I was hearing your love, your love, your love, yeah, yeah, your love. I was hearing that. So both of these energies connected some way, somehow. Sexually, of course, physical attraction, of course. It was a connection that could have happened anywhere. It could have happened at a strip club. You know, males get in love with the stripper on a physical note, but don't realize they carry a succubus incubus entity in them. Okay, or whatever energy or entity, demonic energies they have in each other. They both were attracted to the lower energy, the underworld energy. And yeah, a couple got connected in that way. And they continuously dwelled in the underworld. Okay. So the female, those are the two songs I heard, but the female was looking like this, crawling up on the bed towards the male, maybe more attractive, more seductive, but this shadow energy here looks really creepy. And that's the energy I felt of the succubus energy standing by the bed looking at the man before it decided to pounce on the bed, pretty much on the male figure in my dream. And they were crawling and on the bed to, you know, have whatever they do, entities engage with the male figure, having sex with them in their dreams. My gosh, if it was to be shown like that, it would probably look like that. If you was to see a shadow figure on top of a male figure, physical male being laying down on the bed, this is probably what it would look like. But yeah, that's what I saw. But the face of the succubus energy or entity was not attractive. But they can embody, they can shape shift. So we're talking about shape shifting couples, maybe chameleon couples, trickster energies I was feeling lately. Collective, if this was occurring with you, people were sending you these monitoring energies, trickster energies, shape-shifting energies, chameleon energies, witch and warlock energies. Then, you know, you can relate to this message. I could be referring to you. But that was the energies I was feeling. That was the vision I got. But yeah, that female was pleading and begging because she literally saw the entity. It's crazy. She saw it, but the male didn't. He was going to experience that in his dreams, you know, the dream state, in the spiritual realm. The female experienced it in the physical realm. So these couples are not protected. Whoever's throwing and doing things like this, they're not protected spiritually at all. Because from what I heard, a female is supposed to protect the male in the spiritual, and the male is supposed to protect the female in the physical. When a equally yoked connection comes together, that is what you're supposed to do for each other. So this spiritual so-called false priest, witch, succubus energy and female that I saw in my dream, again, she has no spiritual ranking. Maybe she has been demoted. She has lost her spiritual gifts or ranking. And again, she's portraying to be a succubus seductress, mermaidish, siren type of energy, you know, and that all comes from that entity that they embody that was using that female. Okay. The female was white that I saw in my dream. As in the male figure, again, it was dark and she was my energy was focused, and what I seen in my third eye in dream, it was focused on the female coming towards the male. So I don't know what the male looked like. It was like in a dark room, but it was like a candlelight type of scene, or some, just the way I saw in my dream. I was able just to see like the light in the darkness shining on that succubus energy coming towards the male. But yeah, this couple again is not protected. They lost their spiritual ranking. They lost their spiritual ranking. Because they both were being attacked in a different way. But collective. Whoa, that dream threw me off. Again, this person was abusing divination. Both of them could have been. Maybe the female was more tantalizing and tempting, like Adam tempted, or Eve tempted Adam to bite the, I was going to say bite the cake. What the heck? Yeah, they celebrated like it was their birthday. They celebrated too early on whatever they were projecting, whatever they both were in the business of doing, together or individually. And they're not protected, like I said before, and they've lost. They're losing. They're facing karma at this time. On the outside, it probably won't feel like that, or they won't show that they have lost their spiritual gifts or essence, and they're trying to go around again worshiping and calling on whatever they can to harvest, to steal, kill, and destroy innocent energies and people that they're targeting. Okay, but again, that was showing me what demonic energies, what they can do when you don't deliver, and when they find you know of use, know of good use. And again, that succubus energy was very, very determined to seduce the male to produce her seeds in her spiritual realm. And by any means necessary, anything that stood in the way, my gosh, she was she was torturing the female. So I don't know, the female could be getting tortured right now in regards to, or it could be a male energy. There's no gender in tarot. It could be torturing the male and the female for not delivering and just using their energy, and not getting what the entity, not getting what they want. Yeah, collective, that's what I saw in my dream. So again, you see my title, a connection. A incubus and succubus energies are facing karma right now. Yeah, the couples that are mingling and using these spiritual, these dark underworld type of energies, or you know, remedies, recipes, spells, whatever they're casting, is going on deaf ears. Is going on deaf ears to these energies and entities that wants to collect, needs to collect. And like I said, when it's not delivered, they're going around, they're going back to the collector. They're going back to the person that worshiped and was sending, you know, petitions and requests and worshiping, you know what I mean, this demonic spirit and demonic entity on their altars to do harm. And, you know, if you are a child of God, you know, if you are innocent in this message I'm giving, and you can relate, if you are innocent, God's not going to let no harm be done to his children, to, you know what I mean, his light beings, his star seeds, his chosen ones, his children of God. Okay, aka Ra, whoever you serve for your highest good. If you are living your life and you're at peace and you are not harming nobody, not causing nothing towards nobody, even when you're feeling collective spiritually monitored or spiritually attacked or psychic attack of energies, I feel that you should be just giving it to God, letting Him handle it, giving it to your ancestors, letting them handle it. And I feel you're transmuting that energy by continuously, and this is encouragement to continuously take care of yourself, love on yourself, do things you enjoy that gives you a breath of life, and just puts your mind at ease and fills you with love and comforts you. Do things to comfort you that's for your highest good. Okay? So those entities and energies don't, you know what I mean, have a stronghold over you or can attack you and attach so easily, because you're pretty much keeping your vibrations, you know, at a high, or you're keeping your vibrations, you know what I mean, full of self-care and self-love. And again, you won't even harm nobody, collective. And these energies that are jealous, these energies that, my gosh, have no souls, are using these entities. These entities are soulless beings. They don't care. They just want what they so-called was telling they can do. You know what I mean? And they didn't deliver. I feel like, and these could be energies that traveled all around the world just to do some demonic shit, just to do all kinds of wickedness. You know, this could be or stand for not just couples. This message could stand for, of course, it's a couple and a connection, or they could have been separated, doing things individually. You know what I mean? In different buildings, different rooms, behind the scenes on their own time, or they was doing it together. But this could stand for family, ex-family, ex-friends, ex-co-workers, ex-opponents that you saw on the street, strangers, ex-neighbors, ex-high school so-called friends, ex-lovers that were scorned and bitter, ex-people you just blocked in general, ex-bosses. This could stand for a lot of connections overall. Okay, but in my dream I saw a couple. Okay, this couple could have been married. My gosh, collective, if you could see what I'm making, this looks so good. Yeah, you're working on your health. You're working on bettering yourself, possibly, collective, eating better, wanting to just do better for yourself. Okay, and that definitely helps your vibration. It helps strengthen your connection with your spiritual team, spiritual family. Maybe you're feeling guided or led to change up a lot of things. And by you changing up something just like that, all of a sudden it wasn't forced on you. You just was like, I want to do this today. I want to just change up and do this and try this. It throws off the demonic algorithm. It throws off the matrix. It throws off people and their wickedness and their dealings and doings. Okay, again, this could have been a married couple. This could have been just a couple that were together and didn't like each other, but they came together in likes of you, collective. That was something they had in common, to wanting to hurt somebody in my collective or just someone overall. Okay, I can relate, collective. We're all connected. My thing is, again, they could have traveled across the seas. They could have traveled abroad. They could have traveled to get work done from a voodoo witch or a priest or priestess. Again, this could have been a priest and priestess that was in karmic energy. They're distorted man and female energies, toxic connections. Toxicity is what they attract, and that's all that they are about. Man, collective, this could have been a divorced couple, again, that divorced on the likes of you, without you even knowing. You was a part of the scenario or their story, or of their breakup or separation. You know what I mean? They could be blaming you for their connection separating, from their connection that they had together, or just with anybody or anyone. They could just be blaming you of their toxicity, when it's not your problem, it's their problem. It's they're lacking accountability. This couple, period. People, period, is lacking accountability. And they're blaming you. Okay? But they have no one else to blame but themselves. Okay? Is what the spiritual realm is saying to them. Okay? This could have been, my gosh, collective, a female. Okay? Because like I said, she didn't want to let go. She didn't want that entity to run rampant and loose. She didn't want that entity to get out. And she literally saw it. You know, that entity came at her as a shift-shifter, demonic woman, trapping her. My gosh, collective. That was my message. That was my message. And like I said, the male figure is also held accountable, or should be held accountable. All sin that was done should be held accountable. No one gets no stone unturned. Especially people that do wickedness. I'm going to leave my mail that I created behind the scene that you was hearing in the background. I'm going to leave that clip at the end so you see what I made, or I might just put it in my community page. It looks really good and delicious. So yeah, definitely take good care of yourself, collective, each and every day, because I'm telling you, once they're waiting and just looking for you to slip up. You know what I mean? Stay hydrated and get your rest. But definitely pour into yourself. Especially if you had to overcome, you know what I mean, attacks on the spiritual realms as well as the physical realms. I hope not on the physical realms, but definitely in the spiritual realms. Continue to just upkeep your protection, and yeah, stay tuned for more messages. This was the downloads I received and the music I've gotten. Yeah, this Bonnie and Clyde couples are just, you know, family, ex-family covens and covens, connections, friend connections. They're all deranged. They're all delusional, using illusions, and they're going to be definitely stuck in this confusion type of circle or bondage as you continue to transmute these energies, which I'm doing now, transmuting the energies for my collective and from myself, and speaking the truth to those that need to hear and to see and to heal. You know, I'm here to open up your consciousness and awareness on my channel as well. So if you can relate to this message, give me thumbs up, share this message for sure to those that need to get this message. People are receiving karma. Okay? Everybody, good and bad, are receiving karma or dharma. Okay? What side of the coin are you on this karma? People are receiving towers. People are mad because they can't benefit off of your energy anymore, collective. Okay? Trying to come through and cock block your blessings. They can't anymore because you've seen it, you've been through it, you wised up, you experienced it. Now you looking to move on and move forward to new, bigger, and better things. And they're mad. They sense and can feel the pull away. They can sense and feel the energies dissipating. They could feel that they don't have those claws and they just can't get to you. Yeah, collective, you're focusing on moving forward. I encourage you to continue doing that. You could be seeing these energies in your dreams state as well. And them Fgaise asses or energies or entities that they try to masquerade in, as in mask. You know, but you are seeing through the veils. You're seeing things fall off. You're seeing them for who they are. They literally can be so bold enough to just show up in your face. Maybe on the 3D realms or on the 5D realms. In your dreams. Literally straight up in your face. Showing fake energy of love. But my gosh, collective, continue to cleanse your energy and just do better for yourself once you know. Yeah, you continue to grow and move on forward and do better to attract better. All right, on that note, collective, thank you for sticking around, tapping in, taking your time to listen to this message. And stay tuned for more. This is Rasta Gal, aka Angelic Empress. Take care and peace.